In my last two videos, I demonstrated and analyzed the top 10 most famous pool shots by the greatest of all time, Efren Reyes, and the top most famous pool shots by everybody else. In this final video of the series, I covered 10 more famous shots by everybody else, since there were important shots I didn't include in the previous video. As always, I recreate the shots and give advice for how to be successful if you want to give them a try. In the first shot, Alex jumps the cue ball into the object ball to hop the object ball over the edge of an obstacle ball, and he gets shape on the 8 for the win. This is a great shot, and it should have been included in my previous top 10 list. Look at that smile. Even Alex knew this was an awesome shot. The 1 barely blocked the path of the 15 to the corner, so not much object ball hop was required. To get the object ball to hop, you need to jump the cue ball into the object ball. If you hit the object ball high enough, it is actually possible to jump over an entire obstacle ball. But again, only a small hop is required here, so not much cue elevation is necessary. The cue ball jump also helps delay the draw so the cue ball can get around the 5. The bottom left spin results in perfect shape on the 8. Many things can go wrong with this shot. You can jump too high. If you don't use enough speed or jump height, you won't clear the 5. Or you will get the wrong angle and might scratch. It took me 7 tries before I got everything to work. What's amazing is, Alex had the vision to see the shot, executed it to perfection, and he did it on his first attempt in a match situation. Awesome! Here's another shot where a ball hop is critical, in this case to get a cluster breakout. Dechaine had the wrong angle on the 7 and needed to hop forward to clear the 13 with post-collision massé. This might look easier than the previous shot by Alex, but it is much tougher. First, in this case, object ball hop can hurt you. Here's an example where the hop caused the ball to bounce out of the pocket. This effect can sometimes be used to your benefit, in this case to prevent a scratch. Did you see the cue ball get extracted from the back of the pocket? But again, with Mike's shot, the hop can hurt. Here are some other things that can go wrong. If you don't hop enough, you won't clear the 13. Or the cue ball will massé too soon. If you cut the 7 too much, the massé action won't be adequate. But you can also get lucky, even if you hit it poorly. Here, I got a friendly deflection off the pocket point for a perfect leave. You can also bounce the 7 out of the pocket and ride the rail to the corner and again end up perfect. Nothing but net. It took me about 20 tries to duplicate Mike's shot fairly closely. Although, an easier approach is to hop forward more and use less massé. You can play for short side shape on the 4 in the lower corner. Or you can get the breakout. Or you can do something totally different by kissing the 7 off the 13 to send the 13 into the cluster. You need to get a little lucky with the leave, but the pool gods treated me nicely. This is a famous shot by Carlo Biado. He used lots of inside spin, so some would remain off the first cushion to change the rebound angle off the second cushion. This is a shot from the 3rd Billiard University Playing Ability exam, so I had practiced it a fair amount in the past. I also used the system for aiming with side spin to compensate for cue ball deflection, so I can get an accurate aim. Therefore, it took me only a few tries to get the shot right. I hit the first one too fast and didn't have enough spin. I spun the second one too much and went too far. And the third was just right. There is actually an easier alternative for this shot. You can just roll the cue ball with no side spin and fairly easily get shape on the 7. I'm not sure why Carlo didn't choose this option. Maybe he was worried about getting too close to the side pocket. Regardless, I'm glad he chose the shot he did because it was awesome. Corey Deuel is known for his creative play, break strategy, and power draw shots. Here's a classic example of a Corey draw shot. The cue ball was very close to the head rail, so Corey had to really jack up the cue. He also had to use enough power to have enough backspin remain at the object ball for draw. He also had to cheat the pocket enough to get enough angle to send the cue ball across the table. This shot was tough for me on my table. First, it is difficult to aim and stroke accurately when the cue is jacked up like this. Also, Olhausens, like mine, are renowned for rejecting balls, so the hit must be near perfect on this table. Did you see Corey's shot rattle in? That doesn't work on my table. At first, I was using more draw than I needed, which I was actually happy with. I honestly didn't think I would be able to get this much draw with the cue so elevated. To make this shot work, you actually need a little less draw, more speed, and as much pocket cheat as possible. Another way to play this shot is to go rail first. Did you see the cushion first hit? This creates a bigger cut angle, allowing the cue ball to more easily head across the table. You can also use a follow shot instead, although hitting the ball first with a small angle like this risks scratching. But following forward with a rail first hit is fairly natural. It doesn't require cue elevation or as much speed as the Corey shot, but I'm glad Corey didn't opt for that. Instead, he gave us another great highlight reel shot. Here's a great follow shot from Albin Ouschan. He had to use enough speed and topspin to come off the head cushion. He also needed a little right spin to double the side rail to get the angle to bump the two for a follow-on shot. Many things can go wrong here. You can come up short with too little topspin or speed. You can use too much speed or not have enough topspin, causing the cue ball to go too far down the tangent line before curving. Or with too little speed but plenty of topspin, the cue ball will curve forward too soon. You can also have too much speed and not enough side spin. It took me about 15 tries to get everything right. Here's a skillful and impressive, but lucky, shot by Shane VanBoening. He was playing 10-ball and in a tough spot, needing to get a hit on the 1. He decided to hop the cue ball off the head cushion to jump over the edge of the 3, and he called the carom off the 1 to pocket the 10. And he nailed it! This shot is really tough, and it requires some luck. Many things can go wrong, and just getting a hit on the 1 should be considered a success. It is easy to come up short. You can also hop the ball too much and go long. Here are some of the shots where I got a hit on the 1. I gave up trying to replicate Shane's shot after about 30 attempts. This is the closest I got to pocketing the 10. I am in total awe that Shane made the shot on the first attempt in a match situation. Truly amazing and very skillful, but also very lucky. Here's a nice massé kick by Jayson Shaw. Judging from Kashi's reaction, he was very impressed with the shot. Watch him jokingly give Jayson a respectful finger and see Jayson chuckle in response. This is another shot type that I had worked on previously when working on BU Exam 3. I expected to do well, but I didn't make it on the first try like Jayson. My first attempt came up short. I pocketed the ball in the second attempt, but didn't get a look at the 8. I went a little long on the third attempt. The fourth attempt was closer. I finally got everything to work on the fifth attempt. Now I can better appreciate why Kashi showed some respect with Jayson's success on the first attempt. Here's a ridiculous kick-bank combo for the 9-ball win by snooker great Jimmy White. This shot was really low percentage, but sometimes when you are good, you get lucky. I aimed the shot carefully using the visual angle bisect system, but you still need everything to be perfect. Even just getting a hit on the 5 is a good shot. If you're going to miss the 5, you want to miss it on the short side because you still have a chance to get a good hit. Like Jimmy, I got lucky a few times. Here, I pocketed the 5 in the upper corner. Here, I pocketed the 5 off 2 rails. But I didn't get a look at the 6 either time, so I was unlucky after all. Here, I almost double-kissed the 5 in the corner, and I sent the cue ball toward the 9, but I still sold out the game. This was my best attempt to reproduce Jimmy's shot. I gave up after about 30 tries. This shot, from another snooker great Alex Higgins, isn't actually that tough, but several people thought I should include it. They must be snooker players who really like Alex. Check out his post-shot routine. Take a big drag on a cigarette and get a sip of nice dark ale. Those were the good old days of true athleticism. Those were also the good old days when the US dominated Europe in the Mosconi Cup year after year. Hopefully, those days will return soon. I aimed the shot carefully using the contact point mirror system and the angle bisect system, and I made it on the first attempt. If you try the shot, be very careful to hit the cue ball on the vertical center line. If you have even a trace of side spin, the rebound angle will be way off. My shot, just like Alex's, was very close to being a foul. I barely avoided hitting the 9 first, which would have been a foul and loss of game since I pocketed the 9. This shot actually has a relatively large margin for error. You can hit the 2 anywhere between where I hit it and here and still get the win. Here's a great position play by the flashy Chris Melling. He was pocketing the 2 and trying to get shape on the 3 up table. He caromed off the 5 perfectly. A lot could have gone wrong with that shot. He could have hit the 5 too thin. Although, I still have a look at the 3 from here. He could have also hit the 5 too full. I don't think Chris was expecting such a thick hit on the 5 to go between the 3 and 7, which is a narrow window. It is much more natural, but still difficult, to hit the 5 thinner and go across the table like this. I got shape on the 3 with this type of hit many times during my attempts to duplicate Chris's shot. I even made the 5 with the 2 on this one. Here are my best attempts to duplicate Chris's line to the 3. I also made the 5 on that one. I tried the shot at least 30 times. Here, the line was off a little, but I still got a good look at the 3. Here, I had the right line, but way too much speed. Here, I got a really steep angle and got a look at the 3 on the long side. This one matched Chris's fairly well. Now let's look at 2 easier alternative options for this shot. Here, I'm using my peace sign to visualize the natural angle. I expect the cue ball to head in a perfect direction to go around the 5 and up table for the 3. With a fuller hit and a touch of left spin, I can come into the back side of the 5 for an easy and effective safety. That was my first try at that shot, and it worked out well. I think I would have chosen one of these alternative options instead of Chris's shot. But I like that we got a nice highlight reel video from the shot he chose. And look at that beautiful stroke with the long, slow backswing, pause, and straight, smoothly accelerating forward stroke with the head, body, and elbow very still. Nice technique, Chris. I know I said I would include only shots by everybody else except Efren in this video, since I already dedicated an entire top 10 video to the magician, but Efren must always be included in any top 10 pool shot video. Efren happened to be in the crowd, and a player, with the help of David Al-Kaidi, convinced Efren to try the difficult shot at the table, a 2-rail kick at the 6. Of course, Efren pocketed it, using the cue offered to him. And the crowd liked it, as they should have. The bag on Efren's shoulder was only a minor hindrance. It took me about 10 tries to get it to work, but my final attempt was just like Efren's, including the bump off the side pocket point for shape. I only wish I could have done it on the first try, like the great Bata. I hope you enjoyed my top 10 most famous pool shots of all time series. Give the shots a try. You might learn something. I certainly did. Mostly that I am in awe of the players who executed these shots on their very first attempts in match situations. That's truly amazing. I want to thank those on YouTube, Facebook, and AZ Billiards who suggested some of the shots for this video. Many more highlight reel and famous pool shots can be found via the link in the video description. The source videos for all shots and all systems and resources mentioned in this video are also linked. Good luck with your game from Dr. Dave.